they were doing basically the process about we limit ourselves, limit ourselves, unfortunately, to what the Europeans are teaching us. We limit ourselves. And when I say that we limit ourselves, it's that we allow narrow-minded, grade areas of truths and facts in our conversations when we're talking about ourselves. We allow that. Attachment. Attachment. When we have things like that program, Blacknificent come from a Blacknificent out of the minds and the imaginations of others. This fantastic world, super intelligence. This is why this is why they've been able to see the bigger picture. They've gone to places and experienced what life has to offer. We've done that. We've gone to places ourselves and experienced what life has to offer. And in the same way, you don't think, just think what could happen, what is happening. This is why I'd like to see what these steps. These steps is they ask you a question. asking questions. And it's not that there are no answers. It's that the questions that they are asking are the reasons why they can see that there is a need for solutions right now. The solutions to what? The disease. And they're not so like saying, what, leave it to somebody else. Leave it to something else. They're not doing that. They are willing and able and wanting to take the full life. They want to take that steering wheel they want to who are going to make a difference today. That they want to experience because they've seen it, they know it. They've seen how their parents are supposed to be happy. In the past, they're just those who are listening outside. Okay? I hope that you next. The way they are looking at each other, and they see that the wife, children, and then the imagery that is being portrayed out. This is a type of thing that can, if you have the right person and everything is okay, everything is good. What else are you gonna ask? Are you gonna ask them to say that? What is it? What is there a definitive formula to be happy? And when you go pull up this thinking self analysis, you may step into something like that. What will you step your life and allow them to guide you through the process? When we go through that process, a guide process, let myself or let myself to believe. I got a chance to in, better would live. Yes. Take that time. Stop. Yes. Ah, practice. Wait, wait, guarantee. But those two, yeah, do it, do it. But how can I do it? My, listen, my journey, my journey is an epic, epic story. That I just place for me, your journey, you, each rising, you have the opportunity, right? Rediscover or even enhance the beauty that you have achieved. From 20 years, 20 years ago, when I'm walking into the walking and with paint and oil paints and painting all around the place where she's painting different pictures of taking photographs and sculpting this and so this person in the shell of that cruelty person. Occasionally, occasionally, to need regular soap and, and appreciate of where they see to get all the things that they want to take the great shop and here, and everywhere. Go to one shop and just do one shop. All the dry goods that well, distribution. Ask the question. They gave distribution. For them. And I'm sure that is busy, busy. Okay. I'm shocked. I say, oh, the gentleman at this place. I am with them. I think this killed. So take to be Hey. Whey, that great idea, you know. Oh, oh, awesome. 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 Very cool. Get away from that emotion. Yeah. Right. It's gonna happen.
The truth, you cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot save others if you haven't saved yourself. This year is about pouring into your own well. It's about being so focused on your own goals, your own healing, your own peace, that the distractions of the world fade into irrelevance. Let's talk about why focusing on yourself is not only necessary, but revolutionary. You've spent years, maybe decades, giving to others your time, your energy, your resources. You've been the friend who always picks up the phone, the family member who shows up no matter what, the employee who works harder than anyone else in the room. And while that generosity speaks to your character, it also depletes your spirit if you're not careful. You see, the world has a way of convincing us that selflessness is a virtue to the point of self-destruction. But I want you to challenge that narrative. I want you to ask yourself, who am I? If I strip away all the roles, all the expectations, all the demands, who am I at my core? And once you find that answer, hold on to it with everything you've got. 2025 is not about fixing everyone else. It's not about proving your worth to people who wouldn't recognize your value if it were handed to them on a silver platter. It's about becoming the best version of yourself, unapologetically. That means setting boundaries that protect your peace. That means saying no when your soul is crying out for rest. That means walking away from people, places, and situations that no longer serve your highest good. And yes, it's going to be uncomfortable. Growth always is. The moment you decide to focus on yourself, you'll notice the resistance. People will question your motives. They'll accuse you of being selfish, of changing, of not being the person they used to know. But let me tell you something, changing is the point. You weren't put on this earth to remain stagnant. You weren't created to stay the same year after year. You were made to evolve, to grow, to become. So when the criticism comes, and it will let it fuel you, let it remind you that you're doing something right. Because the people who benefit from your lack of boundaries will always be the loudest when you start enforcing them. But their opinions don't define you. What defines you is the work you're willing to put into yourself. And let me be clear, this kind of work isn't easy. It's not glamorous. It's waking up early to chase your dreams while everyone else is still asleep. It's staying disciplined when distractions are calling your name. It's facing your fears head on, knowing that courage isn't the absence of fear, but the decision to act in spite of it. It's also about healing. Healing from the wounds you've carried for far too long. The ones you've hidden behind smiles and small talk. The ones you thought time would erase but have only deepened with neglect. Healing is messy, but it's necessary. You cannot build a strong future on a broken foundation. So in 2025, commit to doing the inner work. See a therapist if you need to. Journal. Meditate. Pray. Do whatever it takes to address the pain you've been running from. Because until you heal, you'll keep bleeding on people who didn't cut you. Focusing on yourself also means investing in your growth. Read the books. Take the courses. Learn the skills. Stop waiting for the perfect moment to start and realize that the only moment you have is now. There's a world of knowledge out there waiting for you to claim it. So be a student of life. Be curious. Be relentless in your pursuit of wisdom. Because the more you know, the more you grow. And the more you grow, the more unstoppable you become. In 2025, I also want you to protect your energy like it's the most valuable resource you own, because it is. Stop giving your time to people who drain you. Stop engaging in conversations that leave you feeling empty. Stop chasing relationships that only exist when you're the one doing all the work. Your energy is sacred, and where you spend it determines the quality of your life. Now, I know some of you are thinking, but what about the people who need me? And I hear you. But here's the thing, you can't be everything to everyone. You're not a superhero, and you're not invincible. You have limits, and acknowledging those limits is not weakness, it's wisdom. The best thing you can do for the people you care about is to show them what it looks like to take care of yourself. Because when you're at your best, you inspire others to be at their best too. 2025 is your year, not because of some magical shift in the universe, but because you're going to make it your year. You're going to wake up every day with intention. You're going to choose yourself, even when it's hard. You're going to focus so fiercely on your goals that nothing and no one can derail you. So what does that look like in practice? It looks like setting clear, actionable goals and holding yourself accountable to them. It looks like prioritizing your health, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. It looks like surrounding yourself with people who uplift you, challenge you, and support you. It looks like letting go of the need for external validation and learning to trust yourself. This journey won't be easy, but it will be worth it. Because at the end of 2025, when you look back on the year, you'll see a version of yourself that you didn't even know was possible. You'll see strength where there was once doubt. You'll see peace where there was once chaos. You'll see growth where there was once stagnation. And that, my friends, is the power of focusing on yourself. So as you step into this new year, remember you are your greatest investment. You are your most important project. And you are worth every ounce of effort it takes to become everything you were meant to be. Now let's talk about fear. Fear is often the silent enemy in our lives. It creeps in and whispers lies, convincing you that you're not enough, that you'll fail if you try, or that the world will reject you if you stand tall. But let me tell you something about fear. It's only as powerful as the energy you give it. Fear thrives in the spaces where your faith wavers, where your belief in yourself is shaky. In 2025, you're going to starve that fear. You're going to silence it with action. Because here's the truth, fear doesn't disappear, it transforms. Every time you face it, every time you choose courage over comfort, fear loses its grip on you. It becomes smaller, weaker, until one day you look back and realize that the very things you were once afraid of are now your greatest victories. That's the power of self-focus. It doesn't mean you won't be scared, it means you'll move forward anyway. And moving forward means embracing failure. I know it's a word most of us avoid like the plague. But failure isn't the end, it's the beginning. It's a teacher, a guide, a stepping stone to success. You will fail in 2025. Let me repeat that you will fail. You'll set goals you don't reach. You'll make plans that don't pan out. You'll stumble, you'll fall, and you'll make mistakes. But none of that matters. What matters is how you respond. Do you let failure define you, or do you let it refine you? The choice is yours. Because failure is not a reflection of your worth, it's a reflection of your effort. It means you're trying, you're learning, you're growing, so embrace it, learn from it, and most importantly, don't let it stop you. The only real failure is in quitting. Everything else is just a lesson on the way to your success. And speaking of success, let's redefine what that means in 2025. Too often, we measure success by external markers, money, titles, possessions, the approval of others. But true success is so much deeper than that. It's about living in alignment with your purpose. It's about waking up with a sense of fulfillment, knowing that you're doing the work you were meant to do. It's about feeling whole, at peace, and proud of the person you're becoming. So ask yourself, what does success look like for me? Not for your parents, not for your friends, not for society, but for you. Get clear on that vision, and then chase it with everything you've got. Because in 2025, you're not living anyone else's dream. You're living your own. Now, let's address the distractions. Oh, they'll come. The world is full of shiny objects designed to pull you away from your path. Social media, gossip, toxic relationships, endless scrolling, they all eat away at your time, your energy, and your focus. But in 2025, you're going to guard your focus like a hawk. You're going to be intentional about where you direct your attention. Because where your attention goes, your energy flows. That means setting boundaries with your phone, your time, and yes, even with people. It means learning to say no to the things that don't align with your goals, even when it's uncomfortable. It means creating a daily routine that supports your growth and sticking to it no matter what. Because discipline is the bridge between who you are and who you want to be. And let's not forget about gratitude. In the pursuit of self-focus, it's easy to get caught up in what you don't have, what you haven't achieved, what's still missing. But gratitude shifts your perspective. It reminds you of how far you've come, of the blessings you already have, and of the strength that's carried you through every challenge so far. Gratitude keeps you grounded. It's the fuel that powers your journey, the anchor that keeps you steady in the storms. So every day in 2025, take a moment to reflect on what you're grateful for. Write it down, say it out loud, or simply hold it in your heart. Let gratitude be your compass, guiding you toward a life of abundance and joy. And as you walk this path of self-focus, remember this: you are not alone. While the journey is deeply personal, there are others walking their own paths, fighting their own battles, and striving for their own growth. I respect their journeys as you respect your own. Support the ones who align with your vision, and release those who don't with love and grace. Not everyone is meant to walk with you to the finish line. And that's okay. Some people are chapters, not the whole story. But above all, trust yourself. Trust that you have everything you need within you to succeed. Trust that your intuition will guide you, that your strength will sustain you, and that your faith will carry you. Because focusing on yourself doesn't mean you're in it alone. It means you're in alignment with the source of your strength, your purpose, and your power. This year, it's all about becoming stronger, becoming wiser, becoming more resilient, more disciplined, more at peace. It's about shedding the layers of doubt, fear, and insecurity that have held you back and stepping into the fullness of who you were created to be. You don't need permission to focus on yourself. You don't need approval. All you need is the courage to start. So start now. Start today. Start where you are with what you have. And watch as 2025 becomes the year you've been waiting for, the year you stop waiting and start creating. As you step into this season of self-focus, let's address one of the most challenging aspects of this journey: letting go. Letting go of what no longer serves you. Letting go of the past that you've been holding on to so tightly. Letting go of the people who cannot come with you into this next chapter of your life. Letting go isn't easy. It's not supposed to be. The habits, the relationships, the environments that have become familiar to you, they feel like a safety net. Even when they're toxic, even when they're holding you back, there's comfort in what's familiar. But growth doesn't happen in comfort zones. It happens in the spaces where you're willing to release the old to make room for the new. In 2025, make peace with the idea that not everything and everyone is meant to stay in your life forever. Some people, some experiences are lessons. They come into your life to teach you something, to shape you, to prepare you for what's next. But holding on to them after their purpose has been served will only weigh you down. By this year, you'll need to master the art of detachment. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring, it means you stop clinging. It means you trust that what's meant for you will stay, and what's not will leave to make space for better. It means understanding that your worth is not tied to the things or people you've lost, but to the strength you've gained from letting them go. You might feel lonely at times. That's part of the process. When you start focusing on yourself, the crowd around you thins. Some people won't understand your journey. They'll criticize your choices, misunderstand your intentions, and question your priorities. Let them. Their opinions are not your responsibility. Your responsibility is to yourself, to your growth, and to your peace. Embrace the solitude, because it's in the quiet moments that you'll find clarity. It's in the stillness that you'll hear the voice of your intuition guiding you. Solitude is not loneliness, it's an opportunity to reconnect with your inner self. It's where you rediscover your passions, your dreams, and your power. And as you let go of the external distractions, you'll start to notice something incredible. Your inner world begins to flourish. The energy you once gave to everyone else will now be channeled into building yourself up. The time you once spent worrying about others' opinions will now be invested in creating the life you deserve. In this process, you'll discover the beauty of self-love. Real self-love is not about affirmations or indulgences. It's about treating yourself with the same respect, kindness, and care that you give to others. It's about setting standards for how you'll be treated and not settling for less. It's about forgiving yourself for past mistakes and recognizing that your worth is not diminished by your failures. When you truly love yourself, you stop chasing people who don't value you. You stop seeking validation from those who can't see your worth. You stop dimming your light to make others comfortable. Instead, you shine unapologetically, knowing that the right people will be drawn to your authenticity. Focusing on yourself also means embracing your individuality. You are not here to be a copy of someone else. You are not here to fit into a mold that society has created for you. You are here to be uniquely, unapologetically you. So stop comparing your journey to others. Stop measuring your progress against someone else's timeline. Your path is your own, and it's unfolding exactly as it should. As you walk this path, don't underestimate the power of consistency. Big dreams are built on small, consistent actions. It's not about grand gestures or overnight success. It's about showing up for yourself every single day. It's about making the choice, again and again, to prioritize your growth, your goals, and your happiness. Consistency requires discipline, and discipline requires a deep commitment to your vision. There will be days when you don't feel motivated, when the progress feels slow, when the doubts creep in. But those are the days that matter most. Those are the days when discipline will carry you through. Remember this, the habits you build in 2025 will shape the person you become in the years to come. So, choose habits that align with the future you want to create. Choose habits that nurture your mind, your body, and your soul. Choose habits that reflect the respect you have for yourself and the life you're building. And while you're building, don't forget to celebrate your wins, big and small. Celebrate the progress, even if it feels insignificant. Celebrate the fact that you're showing up for yourself, that you're doing the work, that you're not giving up. Gratitude and celebration are fuel for the journey. They remind you of how far you've come and inspire you to keep going. I want you to remember that this journey is not linear. There will be setbacks. There will be moments when you feel like you're moving backward instead of forward. But that's part of the process. Growth is not a straight line, it's a series of peaks and valleys, victories and lessons. In those moments of doubt, remind yourself why you started. Remind yourself of the vision you have for your life, the person you're becoming, and the future you're creating. Let that vision pull you forward, even when the road gets tough. Because focusing on yourself in 2025 is not just about self-improvement, it's about self-transformation. It's about becoming the kind of person who inspires others, not by what you say, but by how you live. It's about proving to yourself that you are capable of more than you ever imagined. So stay the course, keep your eyes on your path, and trust that every step you take is bringing you closer to the life you've always dreamed of. Every step you take in 2025 is an investment in yourself. And understand this, no investment in yourself is ever wasted. Whether it's the time you spend learning, the energy you dedicate to your goals, or the moments you carve out for rest and reflection, it all matters. It all adds up. You might not see the results immediately. That's the frustrating part of growth. It doesn't always happen on your timeline. You plant the seeds, you water them, you nurture them, but the harvest comes when it's ready, not when you demand it. So be patient with yourself. Trust the process. The work you're putting in today will pay off tomorrow, even if you can't see it yet. In the meantime, be your own biggest supporter. Speak life into yourself. Encourage yourself the way you would a close friend. Too often, we're our own harshest critics. We dwell on our flaws, our failures, our shortcomings. But that kind of negativity doesn't serve you. It doesn't help you grow. In 2025, replace self-criticism with self-compassion. Be kind to yourself because the world can be harsh enough as it is. As you cultivate this kindness, you'll start to notice a shift in your relationships. When you focus on yourself, you change the energy you bring to every interaction. You stop seeking validation from others because you've already validated yourself. You stop tolerating disrespect because you've set a higher standard for how you deserve to be treated. You stop bending over backward for people who don't reciprocate, and you start attracting those who align with your values and respect your boundaries. Relationships, both personal and professional, will take on a new meaning when you prioritize yourself. You'll realize that not everyone who comes into your life is meant to stay, and that's okay. You'll learn to appreciate the ones who add value to your journey and release those who drain your energy. You'll stop holding on to toxic connections out of fear of being alone, because you'll know that solitude is a gift, not a punishment. And let's talk about energy for a moment. Your energy is your most precious resource. It's finite, and once it's spent, you can't get it back. So be intentional about where you direct it. In 2025, make a conscious effort to pour your energy into things that uplift you, challenge you, and move you closer to your goals. Protect your energy like your life depends on it, because it does. This means limiting your exposure to negativity. Whether it's toxic people, environments, or even your own thoughts, don't let negativity take up space in your life. You have the power to choose what you focus on, and what you focus on grows. So focus on what's good, what's possible, what's hopeful. This isn't about ignoring reality or pretending challenges don't exist. It's about choosing to approach those challenges with a mindset that empowers you rather than one that defeats you. It's about acknowledging your struggles while also recognizing your strength to overcome them. In 2025, your mindset will be your greatest asset. It will determine how you respond to obstacles, how you handle setbacks, and how you navigate the unknown. A strong, positive mindset doesn't mean you won't face difficulties. It means you'll face them with resilience and grace. And resilience is key because the path of self-focus is not without its tests. Life will throw curveballs your way. It always does. But resilience is what will keep you standing when the storms come. It's what will help you bounce back stronger after every fall. And the beautiful thing about resilience is that it grows every time you use it. So, don't shy away from challenges in 2025. Embrace them. See them as opportunities to prove to yourself just how capable you are. See them as stepping stones to the next level of your journey. Every challenge you overcome adds to your strength, your wisdom, and your confidence. Confidence, by the way, is not arrogance. It's not about thinking you're better than anyone else. It's about knowing your worth, valuing your abilities, and believing in your potential. Confidence is quiet, steady, and unshakable. It's the foundation upon which you'll build your success in 2025. But remember, confidence isn't something you're born with, it's something you build. You build it by keeping promises to yourself, by stepping outside of your comfort zone, and by proving to yourself that you're capable of more than you thought. You build it through action, through effort, through persistence. And in this journey of building confidence, don't forget to celebrate yourself. Celebrate your progress, your growth, your victories, no matter how small they may seem. Celebrate the fact that you're showing up for yourself every day, because that in itself is a victory. As you celebrate, you'll begin to notice a shift in your perspective. You'll stop focusing on what you lack and start appreciating what you have. You'll stop comparing yourself to others and start embracing your unique journey. You'll stop doubting your abilities and start trusting your potential. And this trust will carry you through the moments of doubt, the moments when the road feels long and the progress feels slow. Because trust is what allows you to keep going, even when you can't see the finish line. It's what reminds you that every step, no matter how small, is bringing you closer to your destination. So as you focus on yourself in 2025, remember this: you are a work in progress, and that's a beautiful thing. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to keep going. And as you go, you'll discover something incredible. The more you focus on yourself, the more you become the person you were always meant to be. You'll find a sense of peace, purpose, and power that can only come from within. As you grow into the best version of yourself in 2025, you'll notice that life begins to shift in ways you never expected. Doors will open that you thought were locked. Opportunities will present themselves that you couldn't have planned for. People will start to see you differently, not because you've changed for them, but because you've become fully aligned with yourself. That's the power of focus. When you're intentional about where you place your energy, the world takes notice. It's not magic. And it's not luck, it's the result of consistent effort, self-belief, and alignment. When you stop scattering your energy on things that don't serve you, you become a force to be reckoned with. And here's something else that happens: when you focus on yourself, you become magnetic. People are drawn to those who know who they are and where they're going. Confidence, self-respect, and purpose are irresistible qualities. But remember, being magnetic isn't about attracting everyone, it's about attracting the right people, the ones who align with your vision, your values, and your energy. In this process, you'll begin to understand the importance of saying no. No to distractions, no to people-pleasing, no to anything that doesn't align with your goals. Saying no isn't selfish, it's necessary. It's how you protect your time, your energy, and your focus. It's how you create space for the things that truly matter. And as you create this space, you'll realize something profound: you are enough. Not because of what you achieve, not because of how others see you, but because of who you are. When you strip away the need for validation, the pressure to perform, and the fear of judgment, you're left with your true self, and that self is more than enough. In 2025, you'll learn to live from this place of wholeness. You'll stop chasing and start attracting. You'll stop proving and start being. You'll stop surviving and start thriving. But thriving doesn't mean the absence of challenges. It means you face those challenges with strength and resilience. It means you see setbacks as setups for comebacks. It means you understand that every obstacle is an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to become stronger. And as you face these challenges, don't forget to take care of yourself. Self-care is not a luxury, it's a necessity. It's not just about spa days or bubble baths, though those are great if they bring you joy. Self-care is about setting boundaries, prioritizing rest, and making time for the things that nourish your soul. In 2025, self-care will be your secret weapon. It will keep you grounded in the chaos, centered in the noise, and strong in the face of adversity. It's how you recharge, refocus, and realign with your purpose. This year, let self-care be an act of rebellion against a world that tells you to always be busy, always be productive, always be on. Let it be a declaration that your well-being matters, that your peace is non-negotiable, that you refuse to pour from an empty cup. And as you care for yourself, don't forget to dream. Dream big, bold, audacious dreams. The kind of dreams that scare you, excite you, and make you wonder if they're even possible. Because they are. But here's the thing about dreams: they don't work unless you do. In 2025, your dreams will require action. They'll require you to take risks, step out of your comfort zone, and embrace the unknown. They'll require you to believe in yourself, even when others doubt you. They'll require you to stay consistent, even when progress feels slow. But most of all, they'll require you to start. No more waiting for the right time. No more waiting for permission. No more waiting for everything to be perfect. Start where you are with what you have and trust that the rest will fall into place. Because when you focus on yourself, you're not just dreaming, you're building. You're building a life that reflects your values, your passions, and your purpose. You're building a legacy that will outlast you. You're building a version of yourself that you can be proud of. And as you build, you'll inspire others to do the same. You don't need to preach, persuade, or prove anything to anyone. Simply live your truth and let your life be the message. When people see you thriving, they'll be inspired to focus on themselves too. But remember, inspiration is a byproduct. It's not the goal. The goal is your growth, your peace, your happiness. The goal is becoming the person you were always meant to be. This year, you're going to step into your power like never before. You're going to stop shrinking to fit into spaces that were never meant for you. You're going to stop apologizing for being who you are. You're going to own your story, your journey, and your truth. And as you do, you'll find a freedom that can't be taken away. The freedom to live authentically, to love deeply, to dream boldly. The freedom to be unapologetically you. So take this journey one step at a time, one day at a time, one moment at a time. Trust that every effort you make is bringing you closer to the life you deserve. And know that in focusing on yourself, you're not just changing your own life, you're changing the world around you. Because when you focus on yourself, you create a ripple effect. Your energy, your growth, your success, they inspire others to rise, to grow, to focus on themselves. And that's how real change happens.
Greetings, Brother Aston. You can hear me? Loud and clear. Beautiful, beautiful. I enjoyed that. Ancestral Voices by Denzel Washington. Sometimes you only hear clips of what's been said, and other times you hear, as you've just shared with us, the whole, all of it. And he was speaking about, that was a recording at the beginning of the year, either December or the January. And he's speaking to a group of graduates, undergraduates, individuals who are just, he's encouraging them. But one of the things that he said is that 2025 is your year. It's our year, it's my year, it's Brother Aston's year. Sorry, I should have said Grand Rising to the Blacknificent family. I should have entered the room in the appropriate manner. And I apologize, family. Sometimes when you're eager to talk, you just rush in and you forget your manners. So Grand Rising, Blacknificent family. And it's not Grand Rising, it's good afternoon, Blacknificent family. Brother Aston, I can see your mouth moving, but I can't hear any sound. But yeah, I'm excited about what was said in terms of the ancestral voices, because we're halfway through the year. And some of us, I'm praying that all of us will have set intentions and or goals for what we wish to achieve in 2025. And as Denzel Washington referred to, we're going to get distracted. There's going to be those shiny things. And those shiny things can come in different modes, different ways, but they're going to come. And one of the shiny things may be related to it's like the butterfly effect. We see something nice and we're going for it. We see something else nice and we're going for it. We see something nice and we're going for it. So we end up reaching for different things with the hope or the ambition to say, well, that's what I want. That's what I want. That's what I want. We need to be clear. We must be clear. Is it on This I'm going to use the terminology. It says focus, focus, one eye, focus. I know in terms of Karate Kid, the wax on, wax off, wax on, wax off. That's all he was doing. He was getting upset because he's thinking, hang on a minute, I come here to learn karate and you're just teaching me the wax on, wax off. Focus on the basics. The rest will come. So like I said, we're halfway through the year. So the question is, what have you achieved? Or how are you getting on with your initial journey within this year? And I know, Brother Aston, earlier on you were speaking about your mother and just the changes, and recognizing then that 20 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, you walked through the home, the front door of the family home, and it was a different energy, a different atmosphere, different vibe to where you are now. So in staying focused, it doesn't necessarily mean that life's not going to challenge you. It doesn't mean that you're going to get a free pass because you know what you want. What it just means is that you don't allow, you work with those detours, you work with those forks in the road, but you still know where you want to go. And you still aim to, and you still continue to progress in that way. So we do have a guest. I'm not sure whether or not the guest is online, Brother Aston. Yes, the guest is online. So what do I tell you about this, our guest? I will start with saying that she's someone I've only recently met, but sometimes they say things happen for a reason, season, or a lifetime. And what we thought was a fork in the road and was taking us away from where we wanted to go or thought our intentions were, is actually where we are meant to be. It's the direction that we are supposed to be traveling in. And on that journey, and I think it was said within Ancestral Voices, or it was Brother Aston who spoke about it. You need to put on your life, you need to look after yourself first. So we've heard that analogy for those of us who have traveled and those of us who haven't. You need to put on your gas mask first. You need to put on your life jacket first before you can help and support others. And then the other thing that came to my mind is that when we are vibrating at a certain frequency, we attract others, or we are attracted to others who are also on that said frequency. So when we set our intention at the beginning of the year, and we were looking, or we were hoping, or we had the faith that, you know what, my friends, my family, people at work, the cat, the dog, whatever, they're laughing at me because they're thinking that, hey, you're crazy. There's no way you're going to do this. But the universe has a way of aligning. The universe has a way of putting people, situations in our path that will enable you to achieve your purpose. And one hand can't clap. So when we meet like-minded souls and the energy connects, then it means that we're both here at this moment in time for a purpose. And within that purpose, we can both grow. So I'm going to introduce you to, I know her as Mother Miranda, because that's how she introduced herself when I first met her. So even though her name is Miranda Sutherland, I always call her Mother Miranda because it invokes in me a sensation, a smile, someone who, and if we think about the village community, someone who's wiser than I, who I need to sit down at the feet of and listen. I need to slow down and listen. So Mother Miranda, and she's a reverend, she's known as the Queen of Graceful and Purposeful Aging. So aging out loud, live fully, lead with wisdom, flourish spiritually. So with decades of experience in education, ministry, and leadership, Reverend Miranda brings a soulful call to embracing aging as a time of reclaim, power, purpose, and spiritual growth. So, drawing from her rich Jamaican roots and a life dedicated to service, she empowers seniors to break free from ageism, release regrets, and rise boldly into their wisdom years. I'll read the last bit again. She empowers seniors to break free from ageism, release regrets, and rise boldly into their wisdom years. So, Mother Miranda, I'm not sure whether.
Morning.
Good
Are you
morning.
hearing me?
I'm hearing you. So, it's morning, it's rising in Jamaica, but you are on Galaxy Radio. We, as in myself and my co-presenter, Brother Aston, we are hosting the Blacknificent Radio show, whereby we have conversations. We encourage our listeners to push the envelope, to explore thoughts and or ideas and or discuss things that they've not or really do. So we're not afraid to, like I say, open the discussion. So I'm gonna inviting you on. I know that Brother Aston, and he speaks about it and he's spoken about it. He's a carer for his mother. I was a carer for my mother, and my mother lived well into the 70 years and 37 plus 37. And up until 70 years and 35, she was able to do everything for herself. She was able to come, go. She was able to plant her little crops in Jamaica. She was able to go and do her shopping. She was able to wash self clothes in the backyard over the sink. So her aging trajectory only diminished nearer the end. That doesn't happen for everybody. However, one of the things that I love with what you're encouraging our seniors to do, to break free from ageism, release any regrets. Now, I don't know whether my mother had any regrets. I know the conversations that I had with her, she didn't hold much to her heart to say, oh, well, I wish I woulda, coulda, shoulda. My mother would often talk about her journey from Moortown, which is where she was born, her experiences as a young lady growing up in Kingston, downtown Kingston, close to Coronation Market. She used to speak about going there and buying her provisions, spoke about going to the UK, and her number of years in the UK, bringing up her family, the relationship she had with my father, us going out as a family, whether it be for picnics, to museums, whether or not to family, to friends. So I never heard her speaking about she wished she hadn't done. I didn't hear any regrets. But what I did hear from my mother was when she had the opportunity to retire early, she took it. She was one of those who was keen to pay off her mortgage quickly so she had no debts. And after my father had died, the mortgage had been paid well before my father had transitioned. But then my mother managed to get through that period of her life. So like I said, when the opportunity came for early retirement, she took it. And her dream was always to come back to live in Jamaica, which she did. Built a house, she was comfortable. There was frustration, but I've never heard her speak about, oh, well, she wished she hadn't been in the UK, or she wished she hadn't. I've not actually heard those words come from her mouth. So I would say that my mother did rise boldly into her wisdom years.
Yes.
And her 20 years plus in Jamaica. So Mother Miranda, welcome and thank you. Your camera.
Thank you much. I'm trying to see if I can see the camera on. So let us try that again. Are you seeing me?
I can see your picture.
Right. So the camera isn't turning on, Brother Aston.
He may be able to do something from the back end, Brother Aston, if you're able to do something from the back end. But we can see a picture of you.
Right. So the picture is there.
Yeah.
When I turn the camera on,
we get nothing. No.
Right. So I'll just keep the picture on then.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much for welcoming me here this morning. It's a joy. It's a pleasure. And I use the seconds of your speaking to really reflect. And I think it's the first time that I did since all of this public awareness is going on through the book, to pause to say thank you to our seniors. As I listened to you, I felt a new feeling, and it's one of thanksgiving to them for the work that they have done, for the setting the trail for all of us who have come behind them to follow in. And so I start this morning, all those who are 65 and over, it is your season that I have entered in, and not just my words, because I'm 2 years in. So I'm 2 years in. So I'm right at the beginning. And it's my joy and pleasure to be in a season of life where I am at the edge of the ocean, coming into where many of you already are in your 70s, in your 80s, in your 90s, and our centenarians. It is indeed a joy. And there is much that the world has to learn from our seniors who have accumulated wisdom, accumulated knowledge, accumulated experience. And it is a joy to be in this season of life and to speak into your lives, and also to invite you to age out loud, to not be bashful, not be ashamed, not to believe that you are at the end of something negative, because life is a continuous journey. And as I was introduced this morning, I'm a minister of religion, and that is the core of what I speak about, that we're not at the end of anything. We are on a spiritual journey. God, through God's infinite wisdom, said, I will open earth and bring you on earth, because your beginning has been before you were conceived in your mother's womb. Your beginning has been with me. I'm sending you down. I'm bringing you down on earth for a period of time, and then I will bring you back up to where you started within me. And so, as we continue, there will come a time when God says, come back now, come back now. And that time is in God's hand in whatever way, shape, or form. And so, good morning to all seniors this morning, and thank you for welcoming me here.
Thank you, Mother Miranda. So you did, and I hadn't spoken about the book, Aging Out Loud.
Yes.
And it's a book which is dear to you, but also dear to, what's the numbers? It must be in the region of, I know they often talk about, in the UK, they sometimes talk about the baby booming generation.
Yes.
But that generation are now becoming the elders and the seniors.
Right, they're at the beginning, yes.
But they're no longer at the beginning. In the 60s, when you had that baby boom, and I know I've heard them talk about it in America, now in the 2025, that's that generation who is seen as seniors.
That's the generation that is seen as seniors. Yes, yes, yes. As I said, they're in their 60s and early 70s. Yes.
But I would like to start with, and I'd prepared it. Why is it when you prepare something earlier, you don't always see what you've prepared? Your book, Aging Out Loud, and you had write it. That's not English. I would like to start with the poem, and I'd like to read the poem, Aging Out Loud poem.
Okay.
We are the ages. We are the years. We carry the wisdom, the joy, and the tears. We've walked through the valleys. We've climbed every hill. We stand here together. We're ready to fulfill this moment with purpose. This time with our voice, to celebrate aging and make that our choice. Age out loud with strength and grace. Every wrinkle, every line is a sign of our place. We've loved, we've lived, and we still live more. There's so much ahead, so much to adore. We release the past, we embrace what's to come. Aging's not a burden, it's the beat of the drum. Age out loud, for we are ageless, we say. No fear, no limits, we live in God's way. From birth to eternity, our paths unfold, a sacred journey with stories untold. We are on a sacred journey from birth to eternity, a path of purpose where each step is a decree. Our journey continues, it never shall end. With each passing moment, we rise, we transcend. We are the ages, we are the future. Just you wait and see. I love the way that you started the book.
Thank you.
Reminding all those reading it that we are the future and to be mindful of. So talk to me, why did you feel the need not only just to have the conversations, but why did you feel the need to put it in writing?
So I felt the need to put this in writing because, first of all, I am a scholar. I'm a seminarian. I'm just wrapping up the Master's in Divinity. And I had to write a context paper And at this age and stage in my life, I said I needed to make my writing matter. I needed more than just a grade from my professor and a smile and a nod of the head. I needed to leave something on Mother Earth long after I am gone. And so I asked the question, what does that look like? And because I'm a minister, the paper evolved out of the church. The paper asked to reimagine seniors. Just pause for a moment and reimagine seniors. And that led to my research of discovering one Lars Thornström, a Swedish gerontologist, sociologist, who wrote on gerotranscendence. And it is a theory on positive aging. And that was where I found my aha moment. And as I dug into Thornton's work, I said, hearing that I can wrap my theology research around that work. Hence, I developed my own theory called Theo-Gerotranscendence, Theo for theology with Gerotranscendence. And he has three broad dimensions in his research that we need to look at the cosmic mind of the senior, their existential thoughts, their deep thinking about who they are and what does the afterlife looks like for them. He talks about the deep self-reflection that they will find themselves into. He mentions spirituality, but that is just broad. I'm focusing on Christian spirituality. And then he mentioned that they are at the stage in life where they have a need for a special kind of community. So they're leaving behind the matter of materialistic living. They have, in other words, embraced the term, been there, done that. Now, that might come up against those who are in the commercial world where it is a 22 trillion commercial market where people are trying to stay forever young. But when they get to the point of realizing it's not the Botox anymore, it is not the physical appearance anymore, it's more with the mind and understanding that one needs to get to that place of contentment. I love that word. It was a word of that my mother used. Then you realize that the discussion shifts. It shifts to where I am now. So I chose to write about this because with 886 million people are seniors on the globe, and by 2050, it will get to about 1.6 trillion seniors alone. These people need to have some special attention and care. And I have chosen to step into that, to speak into their lives, to hear them, to hold their hands, the hands of the 92-year-old, the hands of the 80-year-old, and to hear their own wisdom and to give them an opportunity to leave some more of themselves on earth before they go. And it comes out in the evaluations, it comes out in the exercises that they do in the workshops. So it's more than just a book now. I'm doing workshops and conference. I'm signing, doing book signing. The official book signing for will be this coming Saturday in Canada, and then there'll be an official book signing in Jamaica in August. So it's a movement that I'm building and inviting persons to come along with me.
You said something there, Mother Miranda, in it being a movement. And you mentioned the numbers. Just say the numbers again. So in 2025, but you also said, or 2030, but you also said the number for 2050. So just say the numbers again, please, for me.
886 million seniors.
And this is in across the world. Globally. So when you say that, and what I think to myself, and you mentioned it in your book, the Lost Village model of care. So the concept of the village nurturing older people, where care was woven into that daily rhythm of life. We've lost that, have we?
I think if we're not careful, we will lose it. And we need to be mindful of that. I grew up in a community in Balaclava, St. Elizabeth, where this care was so important and present amongst our people. I remember the elders very well. There was the Miss Gordon with her shop, and there was the Miss Emma on the hill. There was Miss Joyce with her ice cream bucket. Yes, selling her ice cream. And she made her own ice cream with the ice packed around it. And you had to churn and churn and churn. And she, with delight, she did her stuff, and she would sell beside the train as it pulls into the station, the Balaclava station. And I remember her words: buy one, get one, sell me, not a joke, you know? And she developed her own mantra. And you would see her in her apron where she had her money, and she would be running, and the delight of catching that last person, stretching the hand through the window to get the cone and dropping the money because you weren't able to hold it, and all of that. And there was Miss Liz at the train gate, who was responsible for opening and closing the gate, because there's a gate going across the road that had to be opened for the train to pass, and so on. And all of these beautiful images. And then when it comes to my church, then as little children, we sat in awe, surely I did, and saw all the mature ones in leadership, with the hope that one day I too would get there. So they set the mark. And my grandmother, who we would go over every summer holidays to be by her home and to enjoy the expanse of their property. They grew coffee and lots of mango trees and coconut trees. So it was a beauty to be around the seniors. And then story time. Oh Lord, as we sat and listened to those story times, included a Duppy story. And so when you go to bed at night, you're so scared. Lots of beautiful memories.
I smile just listening at what you've said, and I would question as to whether or not the generation now are embracing the experiences of the seniors who are around them.
I would to God that they are, and because I have done the research so much, and I realize that we are in this fast-paced world. uh, I am using my voice to bring attention to that, to help them to say, there is something that I am missing. there is something that I need to enter into, if you would, to go back to say, let me ask grandma some questions. Let me ask my neighbor some questions. Let me go sit with them. Let me invite myself into their world to say, Miss Joyce, using her name of blessed memory, it's a long time I haven't seen you. How are you? And to maybe hear them say, come inside and sit down. You'd want some tea or coffee. And just to be in their presence, to, to get a glimpse of their lives, what it was, and to see how they can mirror their presence and present moment, and to look into their future to see, hey, if I don't understand it now, I might not be able to carry on their legacy into my own time when I get there. So I am voicing this, and through this platform, to have some persons who would make the pause and as well make the turn.
I love the fact that you said make the pause and to reach out and to contact the seniors, the elders, speak to your parents, your grandparents, your elder relatives, or even your neighbor, whereby you're not doing it in the hi and bye, and you're not saying how are you, but keep walking by because you don't actually have the time to stop. Let's make time whereby we can stop. So the invitation becomes an open invitation to say, yes, come in and sit down.
Yes.
Or you're on the phone and it becomes okay, I'm going to listen to you. And at this present moment in time, you are the focus of our discussion. I'm not talking to you whilst juggling the cooking, the cleaning, looking after the children, thinking about my shopping list or thinking about work or whatever. I'm here just to share some stories.
And also to see the gold, the platinum in that story, because you cannot buy this. There's no way. So when, as I said, when I touch the hand of the 90-year-old in my church, I feel like I'm in seventh heaven, because you don't know what that is like. They've been there, done that. This is precious gem that I'm holding on to, and I hold it with gentleness and thankfulness. And I look at them and I look at their smile. And when I talk with them and hear them say, thank you for saying that, because I didn't see that way, that I am having the ability to pour into them even at this point in time, that is priceless for me.
Having the opportunity. So you hinted that there may be programs, because you're doing it's not just the writing, you going and you're delivering presentations. So as you're speaking to the seniors and you're speaking to whether it be the church members or others, what are you encouraging them to think about? Or let me rephrase it. Is there anything you're encouraging them to think about?
Okay, so my workshop and my training, because I'd love to also train trainers to take what I'm offering and to run with it. It's the pathway to graceful and purposeful aging. So that's a broad training title, and it is encouraging seniors as well as caregivers, as well as persons, depending on the audience. I just speak broadly, that I'm speaking into the lives of seminarians, those who are preparing the next generation of ministers of religion. Say, hey, as you go out, you need to see that You need to see the seniors in your church. It's not just your sermon, which is just directly focused on the scripture, but you need to extrapolate it in such a way that you are connecting with the seniors. You need to understand that you are the leader of a group of leaders in a church that is planning programs for the entire church, and the skewedness of towards the youth and the Sunday school, and not to incorporate the seniors. You need to address that. So the programs need to be planned to include the seniors. When it comes to the ministers themselves have to be stimulated. The concern that I raise coming out of this, or the insight that I have received, we used to bury the seniors a little quicker. Now they're living longer, and the question is, what are we going to do with them? What are we going to do with them? Therefore, we now have to begin to nurture our seniors. How do we do that? Is different from them just joining a men's group and joining a women's group. No, they have personal needs based on what I just outlined coming from Townsend. And we need to enter into that, because within this community, you have persons who have silent needs, persons who have invisible needs. And this is part of what we need to tap into, to say, I hear you, I see you. How can I help you as well? So they are active, healthy, but they are having things going on internally. You talked about your mom this morning. You never heard anything. One of the things that I do know of those who are coming from the baby boomers, they grew up with silence. You are seen but not heard. They never got that opportunity to speak out. And a lot of persons know best to internalize their feelings. I'm not saying that mom might have had things that she kept away, but because of how we grew up, for a peaceful life, say nothing. That has been an albatross around my neck for a long time. For a peaceful life, say nothing. So I retreat more than stand up and speak. And I have my truth, and yet I am not able to express it because I don't want to get the contention. I don't want botheration. So don't add to it instead of voicing who I am. And so I think the book has given me the opportunity now to be able to speak into the lives of those who have remained so silent, and yet they had something that they want to say. So you have these communities in the business world as well. We have those persons who are preparing pre-retirement programs. Their focus mainly is, you talked about it earlier, on paying off the mortgage. Do you have enough money prepared to do this? What about the house you're living in? Do you need to consider scaling down and that sort of thing? But they're not into the mental capacity of the seniors and meeting them where they are to have the conversation. And what are some of the little regrets so many persons have suffered? For example, miscarriages, and maybe that's the only child that they ever had. Others went on to have other children, but the regret of having suffered 2, 3, 4 miscarriages and never birth a child. Yes. How do we connect and give them the space to speak into that, and to let that last tear fall again, and to release it from their heart? So the exercises that we do help to bring these things out of persons. Um, One person who was wheelchair bound because of her size, as we sat in one of the workshops, said, I'm so concerned about my size. I wish I could do something about it. So she's rolling along and she's smiling, but she is pretty concerned that this is not who I want to be. This is not who I was. And that's a voice crying out. And the workshop gives that opportunity. Another person said, she was 82. She said, thank you for this because it gives me hope. I thought at this age I was done. I thought I was done. And she was now retreating because of her fear. I said, no, you need to age out loud. You know, you have earned this position. Yeah, you don't just get on a tree and the fruit is ripened. No, you had to go through the process of that tree being planted and the budding and the tree, the mango. We see the little green mango coming up on it, and it takes time and process to get to that ripe stage before it can be eaten. You are now at this ripe stage, and you have earned this position. I pause here.
No, because I'm mindful of time, but what I'd love, because I can see Brother Aston, can you just give out the numbers and see whether or not there's anyone that wishes to join and ask any questions? I can't hear you, Brother Aston. Still can't hear you. Whilst you're aiming to figure that out, I will give out the numbers because it is running at the bottom of the screen. It's 0749539530. So the number is 0749539530, and there is a text number 07947479219. So, Mother Miranda, you spoke about the individuals that you touched, and they have a story to share. How do we, as friends, family, stranger, adults, what can we do to encourage or help them to share? Is there something that we can do? Because there's something that they want to say. There's a generation
Exactly.
that want to say. So what can we do to help them to voice their thoughts, their loves, their wishes, their concerns?
That's the core of why I write. To say to us, we need to create the time and space and opportunity for them to speak. And it's important to recognize this. I didn't realize when I was studying the executive master's in business administration, it comes back to me more now. I remember that one of the lecturers said, explain to me like you're explaining to your grandmother. And by so doing, he's saying that you are in a different time and space, and you've got to get into that time and space to use the language of their time, not your language. So you've got to break it down, one, in such a way that they understand it. Words and meanings. You've also got to pay attention to the speed at which they interpret. So they are going to interpret a little slower than you at this time. You are in the rapid lane. As we travel on the highway, they say that there's a faster lane and a slower lane. Don't come up behind them in the slow lane when you need to be in the faster lane. Or if you get behind them in the slow lane, be patient.
So we've got a bit of feedback there, Brother Aston.
Be patient with them. And so it is affording them the opportunity. It is to avoid what we have always done, the assumption of their needs, and to speak to them to find out where they're at, what's going on in their minds. It is to understand that there are physiological changes taking place. and they are not moving at the same pace as we are. It is to avoid rushing them, is to ensure that we ask them questions that impose. So one person said, I don't know what is wrong with her because she have a good house, the house clean, the fridge full. I don't know what you want. I said, did you ever ask her? And he paused. And he said, you're right, you know. So I assume her needs. And she says that she is feeling lonely. I don't know why she should feel lonely. Did you ask her why? So we get out of them what they say, and therefore we try to do the questioning and peeling the onion to get to the core of their needs. So you bring a lot of ice cream. Did you ever ask her what flavor she wants? And you come back and say, the ice cream in the fridge and you don't eat the ice cream. But that response of silence might be based on how you have in Jamaica, we say, rough up your parents so they don't even bother talk and tell you. Or they might, when you go on, they give it away. You know? So it's about having a conversation as to what are the needs, just as I have these workshops and I give them the opportunity. You read the poem, and there are other poems because I know poems open conversation. There are other poems that I write that are related to their situation. I have them going through those poems, and in going through those poems and discussing the poems, they are connecting with themselves. It's giving them opportunity to share, and then it opens them up. I've had persons say, this has been so cathartic. I've had others say, I can begin the healing now with my mother. The regrets that they carry, I've had others say, I haven't gotten over the fact that I allowed my child to be raised with the helper while I was running and searching for the professional dollar. And it's a lost opportunity. I love my child, I love my son, but I wasn't there for all the birthday parties and so on. And the day that I recognized that, it was when I saw it on social media. My helper was putting up these pictures of parties going on in my house with my child, and I'm not there. And to this day, she was saying, it's a regret that I hold on to. So some of these regrets, yeah. The not understanding them and the contentious argument that you have with your seniors. Are you hearing me?
I can hear you. I can hear you clearly.
Right. And the contentious arguments that you're having with your seniors. So we look back and say, let our goodbyes be sweet, especially at this stage. And to the seniors, I say, stop being miserable. We don't need to be miserable at this age and stage in our lives. No, be sweet. We have some miserable old people, you know, man. Yeah, we need. Own your space. You are in a revered position. Be upright, be bold, be confident. You have earned your number of years. And yes, you wanted to be a doctor, but you become not a doctor, something else. Forget that. At 70, at 80, you're still saying, you know, when I was younger, I wanted to be a doctor. You're not saying it with a pride, but thank God I've moved on. You're saying it with regret.
Yeah.
But you've been several other things. Honor what you have been. Honor how you have been to others. And stop looking over some other fence that at this age and stage you will not go over that again. We know that, I mean, there's the Blessed Virgin Mary and the miraculous birth. Yeah, but be realistic. This is where you are. Love life, enjoy. Use what is in your hands.
You know, I'm hoping you can hear me now. Can you hear me now?
Yep,
Yes, I've heard you
beautiful.
ask that.
Fantastic. Well, welcome, Sister Miranda,
Thank you
to
so much.
the Magnificent Show, and I've enjoyed your dialogue so far, and mo- mo- the majority of it I would agree with you. You know, obviously embrace the transition period of our aging. You know, and
Yes.
with Sister Sandra, we've been speaking around this for the past couple of months now
Oh, really?
of
Good.
embracing and enjoying the decades of our transitions as such, you know. And
Yes.
I'm very very glad that you've put together this works here. There's a question I would like to ask you.
Yes.
So that obviously what you're doing is like a piece of works that is put putting out some guidelines, you know, with some advisory as well. Myself, I am actually going through a thing that I've taken on for myself, and it's called my rejuvenation,
Mhm.
earth strong rejuvenation. So what I do is I take the days of my years, which is 62 now, and I'll be going into 63. So 63 days prior to that, I will do some intensive look at what's happening for me and to put in place some things that I would like to see change for myself and obviously future, what I'm going to be working on in my future. And very powerful as it may be. Now, do you endorse any form of like a manifestation at all? So this is one of the questions. And also there's another thing what I've started this year is kind of like rewriting my own spiritual guide, right? And would you encourage people to do this as well? Like obviously words of inspiration, mantras, and things like this. Do you endorse that as well in your practice, or would you endorse anything like that in your practice?
Indeed. Thank you for asking the question. And the book speaks to that. The book provides a number of mantras so
Mm,
that one can use that. It
mm,
is indeed a call as well, as I said earlier on. It's not just your pre retirement, it is all about the money. It's all about the healing of yourself. It's all
mm,
about the refinement, the refining of yourself in terms of coming to grips with life's um, life's gift to you,
mm.
and how can you rejuvenate in such a way that you become more pure in your thoughts. Yes,
Exactly.
which I talked about, the how do seniors get so miserable. You need to flush
Yeah,
behind you. There's one of my sessions, I talk about deplaquing your
yeah.
brain. You know the plaques on teeth,
Well,
and you can
well,
see that visible. You can
our mantra here on Galaxy is the only de-brainwashing station. So,
Yeah. So you can see the plaque on the teeth, but imagine your brain is plaqued. So I
uh,
said deep plaque in your brain. So we need to take away the corrosion, the things, and rejuvenate, be able to breathe and enjoy life and have the guttural laugh, not
mm,
just the framing of a smile on your face, but you
uh,
laugh from within. Your entire body is
that's
with
release, total release.
a spiritual nutriment, as it
Mm,
were.
mm,
Yes,
yes.
and that comes through thanksgiving and through gratitude. And I
Mm,
turn to my book, for example, on page 43, that I
mm,
say, take all these words that you have used in the past and
mhm,
turn them around. So look at the word wealth and money. And
yes.
for wealth, move beyond that. But the acronym for wealth is wisdom,
Mm,
empathy, abundance, love, transformation, and hope.
mm, mm,
Translate the word wealth now into these and put them inside yourself. When you think of money, Now think of motivation,
Yes.
opportunity, nurturing, energy, and yearning for the good stuff. Yeah?
Hmm.
Happy, harmony, acceptance, peace, purpose,
Mm.
you. And
Mm.
then there's joy, justice, optimism, and you again. And the last one is rest,
Mm.
reflection, energy, spirituality, tranquility.
Yeah.
Take these words that meant something else and make them mean something else to you in this season.
Yeah, man. Yeah. This is one of the things that I would like. I've been deliberating on as well. So for you know, forgive me if I'm going to be unloading onto you, but it's
Yes,
nice
you
to.
need to.
Yeah. Yes, yes. I probably I do. Probably I do.
Yes,
But anyhow, let me just put this one to you.
yes.
Last couple of days I've been deliberating because I do a rising meditation, right?
Okay.
Because I like to live my day with purpose.
Yes.
Anyhow, so in my deliberation, right, I'm thinking, why is it that we are allowing the degradation of the mentality of the world system leaders as they are at this time,
Yes.
right? Why are we allowing their negativity to be so predominant in our thinking? And we know that what they're talking about is a load of rubbish, to be honest. Because how is that going to help humanity, right? So, and it was just weighing. It wasn't weighing on me because obviously I know their intentions, and I know what my intentions are to be, right? So, but yet the world is operating in the negative element. So I'd just like to hear your thoughts around that.
So there are two scriptures that come to mind, and yes, I acknowledge what you've just said.
Mm,
And a lot of persons carry a lot of weight, and if they are able to do the shift in their minds to find some good tools to hold on to, and for me, tools of the Bible, which I will share, then they can give of themselves a better way of comfort.
mm,
So when King Herod, I'm using the Bible, when
yes,
King
yes.
Herod heard that
Yeah.
there was a
About,
king to be born,
yeah, about this little
and
boy I come up now.
yes, and King Herod did his plotting,
Yes,
and look at the weeping and the wailing and the bloodshed that he used
yeah.
in order to secure his throne. He said, kill all of them
Yeah.
2 years and under.
Mm,
What a tragedy
mm,
that those families went through just to save himself alone.
mm, mm,
So that is that side of it. But then here is the other side.
mm,
The God that I serve and we serve always provide an escape for us.
mm,
And so in a dream, he said to Mary and Joseph, take the young child and go away. I'm
mm.
saying this is the part that is for us now. Are we listening to a voice that is giving us guidance as to what steps we are to take? Because there's no one size fit all.
Right. You see what you say there, right?
Mhm.
Now this is my thing because obviously going through what I'm going through for myself
Yeah.
personally,
Yes.
my rejuvenation.
Yes.
Obviously, for me to achieve and to do what I want to do, it seems that I have to separate myself
Yeah.
away from this mainstream thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So you've got to have that conversation. So
Yeah.
yes, we
Yeah.
can see the
And also the conviction
yeah
which it takes to actually do that because
to
there's
do
many
that to jump on the donkey in the middle of the night.
that's right.
and to leave,
I
you
mean,
know.
'cause there's many things that yes, I would like to, you know, be in a healthy relationship and my mother's taken care of and everything, but it doesn't suit what I need to do for now and into the future at this
Right,
time.
right.
And so
And so it's to
I have to
have
put
that.
aside, I have to put aside those things so that I can achieve what I need to achieve and be in the place and space to do what I want to do with my what I see as my purpose.
Yes. And
Yeah.
that's why I say that we've got to therefore look in the character, get in the mind of Joseph
Mm,
and find answers through Joseph. Get in the mind of Mary, yeah? And strategy, the word strategy is born out of the military movements. Yeah.
mm,
It's a military term to strategize, not the little 5 year, 3 year plan of strategy in a business. No, it's deep military
mm,
um, plans that
mm,
you have to execute. And the
mm,
second one is um, when at the Passover, and he said, if I see the blood on the door, I
mm.
will not destroy that
Yeah,
family.
yeah, yeah.
What safeguards are we putting in place?
Mhm, mhm, mhm,
So we've got to put our safeguards. If we are going to talk and talk and talk, and that's all we do, no.
mhm, mhm,
Yeah. Uh, there was I was talking just yesterday with someone and who was concerned about the activity of another person. And the question is the practice towards the Olympics or just for casual? You've got to know when you have to, if it's not the Olympics, then stop the casual. Yeah.
mhm.
It must be meaningful.
Yeah.
So amidst all of life, a
Mhm,
rose is growing. Look in the middle of an open area sometimes, you
mhm,
see a lovely flower. Yeah. In the muck of life, you find roses coming up. And so we've got to be purposeful. Listen to the conversations, but we have to have a connection, whoever that source is for us, and make some individual decisions. And of course, we know as well that um, if the crow did not open the mouth, the
mhm.
cheese would not fall out. So we've got to know how to keep our mouth shut. Yeah.
Careful, you know. Careful with them lyrics.
Yeah. So we've got to know when to speak as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I could still go back to Jamaica and get into Volier Johnson uh, what and Oliver Samuels
Something
and
else.
what was the instruction out of that comedy?
Yeah.
Smile and nod, man.
But
Smile
that
and
is,
nod.
but
Smile and nod. Smile and nod.
that's right. But that's our way of how we colloquially were able to communicate and learn how to re-communicate as well.
Absolutely.
Because remember that going through the stages of the slavery
Yeah.
conditions that we were under, we weren't even allowed to even discuss things in our own language. You
That's
know,
what I'm saying. Yeah.
so
We're
therefore,
silenced.
through humor,
Yeah.
through humor, many of us were taught about our culture, right? So even Miss Lou,
Oh
right?
yeah.
She was the one that really brought many of us from child into adulthood and to remind us of these things that we learned along the way and
Right.
what was a mainstay for us as young children, so that even for me, I'm born in the UK, right? But my mother would sing those things because she was also in the choir when she was in Jamaica. So she was always singing and
The
saying
folk
these things.
songs.
So
Yeah.
I knew those because that my mother would be singing those things,
That's
right?
right.
But,
Yeah.
but there was many children who I know never even heard them type of things before,
It's
you know.
true. A lot of persons have lost out on all of this culture. And so it's important that we find an avenue, Aston, to bring this back. And God has given me aging out loud to do this.
Mm,
Aging out loud.
mm,
It's really, and I thank you, Sandra, for inviting me here.
mm,
It's really like contributing to a restoration, as you said earlier, on the village, a restoration of something rich in the past that we have taken for granted. We
mm,
have so westernized our mind and our world. Yeah. The Eastern traditions still revere their elders
mm.
and still respect them more than the Western, because, as I said, we want to remain forever young with all our cultures
Mm.
and all of these things. But there's just so much more
Wherever
richness
you're,
in
So
it.
I'm going to jump in here because I know from a conversation
come,
point of view, we could be here for a very long time.
come on,
So
come on.
what I'd
Let's-
like you to do, Mother Miranda, because I recognise then that you're a few hours behind us because you're in
Yes,
Canada.
Canada, it's
Um,
6 o'clock here in the morning.
yeah. So
Eh, wow.
what I
Oh,
would like you to do is to speak about your project that's happening in Jamaica. I will be
Oh,
sharing the information with Brother Aston. So if there
yes.
are any individuals, I'll let you speak first. Speak about the project that's happening in Jamaica in August.
So thank you. So I'm evolving. So moving from writing a contextual paper, before you know it, I'm writing a book, and then I'm having workshops, and then the spirit says to me, uh, "Bring this home. Bring this home to Jamaica." I'm in Canada for 10 years now. Coming July, bring this home, and to have this in Jamaica was through a conference. So there's going to be a conference in Jamaica at the Catalonia Hotel in Montego Bay. Thought to have it in Montego Bay because if persons are coming from overseas, then to have an experience of our lovely beach. Catalonia Hotel, some people might want to know, is the new name for the uh, I'm choosing to forget now, Holiday Inn and Resort in Montego Bay. So it's the same location, it's just a new name. And it's a 1 day conference on the 8th of August. It's Beyond the Horizon. So I'm calling Age Horizon, Beyond the Horizon and Beyond Conference. And it is inviting presenters to share the information educationally. It's providing a space for all seniors, business people to come, those who are currently responsible for retirement homes and retirement associations, those who are authors who are writing about seniors, the church who have the seniors attending, and how to help them to live better, wonderful lives, and how to deliver their sermons in a way that is meaningful for them at this stage in their lives. So we're hoping that as many persons in the business field will come, in the educational field, in the seminaries will come, and seniors themselves will come and learn a little bit about their own lives and journey, and to have their finger now on the pulse. Like
mm.
I remember when I had to come to the grips to understand that there's nothing wrong with me because I am not as eager to go out as was before, but it's the physiological change that is taking place in my body, and so therefore accept it. I don't feel like going, not that I'm antisocial, but I just don't feel like going. The conference, yes, the conference will bring out some of these things, yeah. And to know that with your grandchildren, you cannot go at the speed of your children as well,
I know,
because you are going to be left drained for energy and can't wake up tomorrow.
I
Yeah.
know, I know that sensation as well.
Yeah. So it's learning about yourself as well, and the
Mm,
caregivers, to also understand the demand sometimes that we place on seniors. Yeah. that we need to check ourselves because we are placing demand based on our 30-year-old brain and our 40-year-old brain. And we need to enter into their world to understand a little bit more. It's just like a teacher, a mature teacher of 20, 30 years old, teaching a classroom of grade one students, grade two students. They have to become like a child to teach the child. And
Mm,
so, in a similar way, when you have seniors, you 30 and 40, working with your parents and grandparents of 70 and 80, you have to almost transport yourself into their age to understand them a little bit. So,
mm, mm.
these are some of the educational information that will be coming out at the conference.
So the one thing I've not heard is the date. You've said the
Yes,
location, but not
August 8th. August 8th in Montego Bay, one day. So Independence Day is the 6th. Then you rest a little on the 7th, come the 8th. And you can also come and stay at the hotel for 2, 3 nights.
Mm.
So the tickets for that is 160 US dollars. If you just want a day pass, you're in Jamaica and you just want to come to the conference. If you want to stay into the hotel for one night, maybe you come down the night before to be early in the morning. That is 299. If you want to stay for double occupancy, that is, I think, 440. So, nice packages are there. Come on down, come over, fly over. It's an invitation to everybody to just come and enjoy this moment. The Minister of Labor and Social Security,
Mm.
under whose ministry the seniors department falls, will be the guest speaker for the conference. Uh, Honorable Dr. Pernell Charles, right?
Mm.
And so we are looking forward to that, and we also are welcoming more sponsors for the occasion to make a reasonable contribution or to partner with something beautiful. A lot of persons, philanthropists, want to share, but they want it to be meaningful. This is a meaningful conference that I invite persons to pour into.
Oh wow! Sounds good and exciting down there, man.
Yeah. So are you coming, Aston?
What?
Are you coming?
We shall see. We shall see. We shall
We
see.
shall see.
I,
Wonderful.
all I have to do is get a blessing of how much? Five numbers, seven numbers, and we'll see what happens.
And you'll see what happened. And Sandra Smith will be one of the co-moderators at
Okay,
the.
okay.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
hold on. Kept that quiet, didn't you, Sister Sandra? Huh?
Yeah, she'll be one of the co.
You see how she this woman operate around me?
Yeah,
God,
two moderators, and she'll be interchanging with my daughter Rhonda Sutherland.
well done,
Yes,
well done, well done. I'm telling you, she's going for governorship. I know that. I know that she is.
that's great. That's great. And she's holding Portland firm.
Yeah, man.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yes.
I need to
Obviously.
get in touch with somebody out there in Portland, Michael Lee Chin. Are you in touch with him, Sandra?
I'm not, but I think I can get in contact with him.
Oh, of course. We need to have him on board. He has such a philanthropic heart. And, the idea of him being a patron for such a wonderful conference would delight all of us.
Mm.
So sending out the word to the great Michael Leachin of
Mhm.
humble beginnings, such a wonderful man, and would love to have him on board.
And your book is available on Amazon. You said.
And the book is available on Amazon, Aging Out Loud. Sorry that I didn't wasn't able to get on camera because I have the book to show and all of that. Yes. But it's a lovely book, all in gold, because we are in the real golden age of our lives. Yes.
Ah, brilliant, brilliant. Sounds very good. So sounds
Yes.
very good, and I'm sure I'll look forward to reading, and and plagiarizing some of your material as well. No, no, no.
Permission
I
granted.
would never do anything like that.
Permission granted.
I'll get
There,
that.
there are
I'll get
lots
that
of
stamp of
foreplay.
approval. I'll get that stamp of approval right there, sir.
Yes, and you know something? I
Yes.
want as many persons to talk about this material. I
Mm,
want as many persons to get the book, do the commitment quiz.
mm,
It's a book of guidance. Do you believe that you still have a purpose to fulfill at this stage in life? These
mm, mm,
questions are there. Yeah. When
yes,
faced with a challenge, how do you respond?
mm,
And there are answers there. Yes, I am excited to find and live my purpose. So
mm,
that's good. But what if the answer is, I'm not sure, but I'm open to exploring new opportunities?
mm, mm.
Or what if the other answer is no, I feel like I've already done everything I needed to do? So we process these questions and answers to help persons to see where they are. Here's
Yeah,
another question. How would you describe your spiritual journey at this point in life?
very important. Yes.
um, I feel deeply connected to in my spirituality and continue to seek growth, or I am uncertain about my spiritual path, but I'm open to exploration, or I've disconnected from my spiritual practice and don't feel the need for them. So
Mm-hmm.
these answers give you an opportunity to let's talk some more about that. Yeah. So you have some ready tools in
Mm.
this book that you can uh,
Yeah. This-
stimulate yourself. There are general questions as well,
mhm.
just for discussion. Question on resilience. How do you keep going when things get tough?
Yes.
Or finding joy. What simple things make you happy today?
Mm.
Yeah. So we invite them into a conversation, and everybody needs to have a copy of this book because it is for you now. It is for you to help those who are older than you. It's for you when you get there. So this is a precious uh, library library book for all
Yeah,
persons.
definitely. It sounds very, very interesting, and I feel that, as you say, a very valuable asset to what can be used as a building block, you know,
Yes.
for many to just investigate into the lines of how can I balance myself for my future, because
Yes.
remember that many of us go through a journey, and I was in conversation and deliberation again, because as I say, through the process that I'm embarking on myself, is that when we go through this, we don't realize how reliant we are on outside um, forces and entities like work, like this the social system, right? That really has been a massive guidance and support to us, and that independency is not a normal thing for many of us who's been in this working environment, especially like here in the UK, right? But as soon as you walk out that door and you're saying, "Oh, I'm retired now," right? There's a lot of people who are absolutely lost, and they're just soulless, and they just didn't realize how reliant they were on this working environment and other support systems, you know. So
That is so true.
when you
That's
step
so
out,
true.
how strong are you to actually stand on your own 2 feet, you know?
That is an important point
Mm,
and part of where this work that I'm doing becomes a catchment.
mm,
Yes? So I
mhm,
might not see them stepping out of the door. It
mm.
is very scary. This is your last day. And for some, they discover that, oh my goodness, this 9 to 5 has really been a slave driver. I've
Yeah.
just been getting up and go, getting up and go, getting up and go.
Mhm,
And as I said, it's a catchment for us now to stop and think.
mhm,
So even as I talk about this book, Aging Out Loud,
mm,
then the spirit drops in my heart that okay, fine, so they've finally gotten there.
mhm,
But when you now get to 80 and 90 and over 100, there is also another language for those persons. So there's a book two that will be coming out
I
next
was
year.
just about to ask that, you know. I said, I'm hoping that you're getting enough material from our engagement that we can have a next book.
Yes. So book two will be now for the older versions of the seniors. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And um, and so we're speaking against ageism, which is a discrimination against age. Yes.
Mm,
And to the belief that once you say senior, once you say retirement, that you are done.
mm,
And to realize that there is so much more that you can do. I tell you one story that I developed, which has a lot of grit.
mm,
These seniors went to the park, and they were sitting in the park, and some young people came in the park, and they
mm.
were chiding at the seniors,
Yeah.
young people, and the seniors felt a little awkward about it.
Yeah.
As they walked back to their village, they were
Right.
talking about it, and they said it's a pity they don't know who we are, and
Yes.
they plan to take their musical instrument and go
Mm,
back to the park another time. And
mm,
incidentally, the seniors, the young people were still there, and they played their music. And when you get into the public marketplace,
mhm,
people are drawn to the music. And we see
mhm.
that a lot in London from the videos that I watch.
It's the
and
rhythm. It's the rhythm of life, my friend. The
yes,
rhythm of life.
and so the young persons now impressed that there they
Yeah.
were laughing at them a few days ago, but look how marvelous that they're playing,
Mhm,
because they have so much wisdom and knowledge that so many persons are unaware of. You just see
mm.
them walking slowly, some may be pushing their little trolley, and you don't know what you're missing. Had these
Exactly.
boys gone across to just have a talk with them, they'd have gained so much. Well,
Yes.
that stimulated these four seniors, and they
Mhm.
decided that they want to put on a concert.
There
Yes.
you go. That's
And
brilliant.
so they got in touch with the church, got the church hall rented, their senior their senior home, got
Mm,
wind of it. They printed flyer on their behalf. Now these seniors are retired professionals, so all their children, grandchildren, and everybody and their friends are planning to come to this concert because
sure.
their their seniors have revived. You talk about rejuvenation. Yeah.
Mhm, mhm.
And so one thing can spark another, and the concert was a sold out.
Yes.
And then the city learned about it, and the mayor invited them to just as how you invite me on this morning to talk
Mm.
about it. How did this all happen? And the mayor was so impressed that he provided funds to have a gazebo built in the park with the
So that,
names of these four persons engraved on it,
yeah,
right? And these are seniors. So you didn't have to stay in a 9 to 5 to do that. In fact, when you're in 9 to 5, you wouldn't have dreamt that this would have happened to you.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And
yeah.
so, how can we therefore spark conversation with bringing our seniors together?
Mhm.
And there's another story that I can share about where these seniors got in touch with the gym next door,
Yes.
and to say give them a reduced rate. One went to say, we will come to
Absolutely.
your gym if you can give us a reduced rate at least once a week.
I,
Okay.
listen. I think anybody over the age of 55 should get half price in all gyms all
So
over the world.
let's go for it. And so
Right?
what happened in this case, I finish the story. The restaurant next door saw the traffic
Mm.
and inquired, and then said, okay, on that day we can do breakfast at half price.
There you
Okay.
go. See?
There you go. So
Excellent.
there are little ways that we can go out there and still make a difference and impact lives.
And even in that restaurant, offering that gives a socializing area. outside of the home as well.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Thank
So
you, thank you, Mother Miranda,
right
for
on.
sharing.
Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry, Sister Sandra.
Um,
You know me. You know me already.
yes.
You need a mute button for me, innit? Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mother Miranda, for sharing your. I'm not even going to say it's a project. I'm going to say it's a purpose
Yes.
in writing the book, in helping and touching and encouraging that village mentality that some of us have lost because we are excited by the shiny things. We are thinking and approaching others with the same mindset that obviously, yeah, come on, let's go. When they're in a more sedentary mindset that says, I'm coming, but just give me a little time. I want
Yes.
to come, but give me a little time.
Right.
Let's sit down and let's have a conversation beforehand. You're encouraging us to pause, to press that
Yes.
pause button, just to do a check-in for ourselves, but then also for those around us, whereby we can start to re-energize, we can start to actively listen to what's being said. We can all we can all continue to grow as precious beings that we are, in our spaces without the regret, having had those conversations, having challenged and or spoken about the things that are troubling us. So the book gives us I wouldn't say the permission, but some of us may need that permission. Some of us may need the sit down and let's just do this. Let's have this
Mhm.
conversation. But as we're speaking now, there may be others that are listening and thinking, oh, now I understand on a different level. Now I
Sure.
understand I don't necessarily understand, but now I appreciate that. Yes, I'm rushing my mum, but I need to slow down. Think she should be happy, but that's my thinking. So we need to be having these conversations, and I thank you for joining us this morning, speaking about your book, Age Out Loud. It is available on Amazon. You can also get it as a Kindle version for those of you who like to read on the go or have it in electronic version. But there is a paperback version that has been produced. And then Mother Miranda has also spoken about the event in the Catalonia Hotel on the 8th of August, which is again giving us an opportunity to have those discussions with scholars, but also with individuals who are in that space, working in that space, that help them to think about how they can approach their engagement with seniors on a different level, recognizing, and I'm going to go back to the quote that you said initially, the numbers in 2030 against the numbers in 2050. We're moving up to 1 billion seniors. We do need to listen, but we also need to give them the opportunity to age out loud. So thank you very much,
Out
Mother.
loud. Thank you very much. And for those who would be going on Amazon to find the book is AGE-ING, Aging Out Loud, AGE-ING. And for those who would want to reach me, my email address is info.mirandaspeaks@gmail.com. info.mirandaspeaks@gmail.com. Website is www.mirandaspeaks.com. That should be going live by this weekend.
Okay,
So
then. Right.
thank you very much for providing us with how we can contact you, where we can get the book from, and the nuggets and the gold that is enclosed within the pages of that book. So thank you very much, Mother Miranda, for
Thank you
sharing.
very much.
Well
It
done.
was nice being here. God bless you all.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Thank you so
Bye
much for
bye.
joining us and giving us your information on your up and coming book and everything.
So,
Oh no, release book
yep,
and the event as well, where
yep.
Sister Sandra is apparently being part of that as well. She never tell us anything about it. But anyway,
Now you know. We'll bust it out. All right. God bless you.
okay,
Thank you.
Bye bye.
thank you so much. Thank you so
Bye.
much. Right. Oh boy, thank you so much, Sister Sandra, for bringing that Sister Miranda with us this strong here, and appropriately as well. Tomorrow is our Ancestors' Day, the 6th of the 6th, as
Mm-hmm.
well. So,
Mm-hmm.
we're having a full on eventful day here on the galaxy of Fui.net, right? Um, if there was 10 free copies of that book, we would have given them away to in throughout the day and everything else. But we'll have to see what the budget is tomorrow, and then we see what will go on along with yours as well, because you have a book as well out
Mm-hmm.
there, isn't
Mm-hmm.
it?
I
So
do.
you remind us of that one there as well, my sister.
It's my time.
It's my time.
Coercive control.
Hmm. Right. So Sister Sandra has released her works as well, and you have another one in the building as well, isn't it? You're building the next one as well.
So I've not. There's a lot of thought going on in terms of the other one, but it's not yet published.
Mm-hmm.
So the other one, so Coercive Control Survival Guide. It's my time. That's the book that um, I am adding to. I added to um, the previous chapter I'd been involved in the with Les Brown and James McNeil and 11 other authors. But
Mm-hmm.
It's My Time is predominantly my work with a little forward from James and Les,
Right.
just encouraging. And there's a quiz in there that whereby if you're answering yes to too many of those questions, you need to then just take a check in terms of where you are in within the relationship that you're currently in
Mm-hmm.
and or the relationship you were in. And then there's some tips in terms of how you can start to rebuild.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Excellent.
as Mother Miranda was saying, sometimes we go through life, we get to the 80s, we get to the 90s, we get to the 75s, and we get there with the regret. And when we felt we could have spoken to people, nobody was listening. So now we've got another from 75, you've possibly got another 20 years ahead of you.
Yeah.
You're sitting on that regret because now it doesn't seem appropriate to talk to anyone. Will anybody care, etc., etc.? So we do need to take the opportunities to heal internally. And the book gives you an opportunity to, there's some tools that you can use from a healing point of view, or you
Mm-hmm.
can just reach out to me and we can sit down and we can sit down from a coaching and a listening point of view.
Yeah. Excellent. Excellent. One of the things that I came across, it was a conversation I had about. No, the information came to me. Oh, some time ago now, probably about 10 years ago, probably
Mm,
12 years ago. And there was a thing that I used to subscribe to, and they used to send some spiritual. It's called spiritual cinema at the time, and it's called Gaia. It's called Gaia now, right? It's an online information, spiritual information, and everything. And within that, like one of the first videos what they sent to me, or DVDs they sent to me, there was a film that was on there by Wayne Dwyer,
mm,
right? And it was called The Shift, and it was like an introduction to that conversation of the transition from active to perceived inactivity.
Mm.
Right? And then, like, it was just an opening of conversation for me, type of thing. But it was something that I never really looked at. And then that's when I started observing, like, how people were retiring from work, you know, and how they were just despondent about leaving the work. And I thought to myself, you got to be kidding. What, who
Mm.
would be who would be upset about leaving this place? You know? And it literally the people were like in tears that they were leaving the workplace and everything. I'm gonna tell you now, when it came to me, in my time, and I took early retirement, I walked out that door, didn't even look behind. I even slept very good that night as well, thinking, "Oh, I haven't got to get up in the morning." But I did have the reflect. A few times I got up and got dressed and got in the car, ready to go to work. Not, and then realizing, oh no, I don't work there no, I don't work there no more. You know, so when that happens, you have to really sort of like think to yourself, wow, did they have me like that? You know, but obviously, you just have to just run with it. You just have to run with it. You know, and yeah, right. We're gonna come back in a few moments. I'm gonna give you a little bit of a tuning, and then we'll be back in a momento for a summarization, right, with our sister Sandra. Where are we? Where are we? What are you gonna give to me? Gonna give me this one? All right, then. Thank you.
Greetings, Brother Aston. I am back, but I can't hear you. Yep. Yep. Sorry about that. It looks like we had just a little power cut. The nature of where I am.
Yes. Not yet, not yet, not yet. We're not play you yet. All right. Let me see now. What you
They
got?
look as they age.
As we do, as we do. Oh,
But as Miranda has said, we get to a stage whereby we appreciate and
mm,
recognize that we do age gracefully, and we have that youthful appearance. So there is no need for the um, Botox or surgery or anything like that.
yeah.
We do look
Unlike,
our age.
unlike those who are chasing
Yeah,
us around, trying to
yeah,
look like we, but they don't want to be like we, but they want to look like we.
no, no.
Uh, oh dear. There's a joke what I used to play with them at work sometimes. Right? And they used to say, "Why do you always wear sunglasses?" I goes, "You know how better looking you look when you got a suntan?" Anyway. Yeah, yeah. Anyway.
No, that it's a interesting conversation, because even when, as Mother Miranda was speaking about
Uh,
how we approach our elders, bearing in mind a number of us some of us may have missed out totally of the village. I was going to say mentality, but just the culture of the village and the village raising the child, but then the um, respect that we provide to the elders, because they are the ones who are, in some senses, relaying the stories. In some senses, they are the guiding ones that the youngers will go to in order to seek clarity, because their parents are in that middle stage where they're still finding their feet.
yeah.
And I was listening to something last strong, may have been before that, but within the last definitely two strongs. And the brother was saying, and I'll see if I can get him on, was talking about relaying the conversation about someone that he was speaking to, because his purpose in life is to work with and support brothers, fathers who have, for whatever reason, no longer in contact with their children, and he's aiming to provide a space, a house where they can go and meet with their children or child in a safe environment, um, with obviously whatever restrictions have been put in place. But one of the things that he said and recalled was when he was speaking to one of the brothers. He said he had a child when he was young, didn't know what, but had the child. He had his second child when he was in his 20s, again, didn't necessarily know. He had his third child, he didn't necessarily know. It's only when he had his fourth and his fifth child, he's now in a loving relationship with his wife, and they've got two children. But it's only at that point he felt he was in the right space in order to have those children, recognizing what was needed, and was able to pour in, but not only pour out, but pour into
Yes.
those children's lives. And when we have that village mentality, when we recognize that it does take the village to raise a child, some of the decisions that as young people we may make might be curtailed because of a conversation we'd had with an elder who'd already been there, done that, come out the other end, and has the pearls of wisdom that they want to share, willing to share, love to share.
It doesn't come with an instruction book. Let's put it that way.
No, no, and that's what the village mentality provides information around the edges, because we don't have an instruction book in terms of bringing up children. the only instruction book you have is through the education system, and that in itself we
Exactly.
know is slightly warped to
Yeah,
suit the needs of a specific group and or a specific system.
I
But
tell
we
you, it's
do
it's it's let's say the whole of life is challenging at times, right? Because even when you think, "Oh, right, we got it good now,"
sorted. Yeah.
right? The wind will change, and everything changes with the wind.
Yes. Yes.
Yes,
Yes. And
yes.
uh,
Try bring
I,
up a try bring
I,
up a woman. Yeah. when,
I
when you're married to a woman and you're bringing up a next woman, it's like, oh gosh.
I know that it's something that I've listened to, and James McNeil, and he
Mm,
speaks about sometimes we need to be like that willow tree,
mm,
because the breeze will push you left, right, center, but that willow tree has the ability and the flexibility to be pushed left, right, and center, but to still want to stand up, still
mm,
want to strive, still want to be the best and strongest willow tree amongst all of the willow trees.
mm,
So we will be distracted. And if we go back to what Denzel was saying in terms of um, opening the year, and you played a clip from him in terms of 4 ancestral voices,
mm,
and he was speaking to the group, and he was speaking about what their hopes, what their dreams were, what their aspirations were, but
mm,
also recognize that there will be the shiny stiff stuff that will take them off course. But how do they and why do they want to, and why should they maintain the course in terms of the goals, the dreams, and the aspirations? And recognizing just because you've been put off course doesn't necessarily mean that you are lesser than. It doesn't necessarily mean that your goal and your dream is not, or your purpose is not recognized. It just means then that there is another nugget that you need to pick up along the way. There's another tool that you need to add to your toolbox as you progress through life. So that means when you do get to your 70, 75, you do get to your 60, 65, you do get to your 55, 60, you
yeah.
can then do so without the regret, but you can also do that and pour into the younger generation. I was speaking to someone, my neighbor, um, the last few days, and
Mhm,
he was speaking that his philosophy in life is, even though he's going through life, recognizing that you can learn from the youngers, you can learn from those of your age and size and weight, but you can also learn from the elders. And as long as you work with that as a mentality, it means you're always prepared to listen and be still so you can hear.
mm,
So we've had some beautiful conversations, and Mother Miranda was our invited guest.
mm,
Written a book called Aging Out Loud, and
mhm,
that's aging, which is spelled AGE dash ING,
mhm,
out loud. Her full name is Miranda Sutherland, and it's encouraging the reader to live fully, lead with wisdom, and flourish spiritually. Because the numbers of us who are living longer is increasing. We know that because our pension age and our ability to retire early from work is being eroded, and now 70 is a norm in terms of working too
they're
and
pushing
working.
back the finishing line. They're pushing
Yeah.
back the finishing line now.
So we need to be in a position whereby we can age out loud, we can age gracefully, and we
Yeah.
can continue to live with no regrets. So, like I
Mm,
said, Mother Miranda spoke about that, but she also spoke about the event that's happening at the Catalonia Hotel in Jamaica on the 8th of August. And there are tickets on sale. So I'll share the details with you, Brother Aston. So if there is anyone that's in Jamaica and wishes to attend,
mm.
tickets on sale for that event.
Fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. Well done, my sister. Well done. I've enjoyed today. Not the fact that I've been relaxing and listening, right? But the fact that I've been relaxing and listening, and and it's been very informative as well. You know, um, and I had to draw a breath a few times, but you know what? I just said, let's just see how this run out. And This is the thing with the Blacknificent show now, right? In the listening of what we have just experienced there, we should feel comfortable and confident enough to engage in any arena with any person, right? Because if we allow ourselves to get overawed or overrun by the presence of somebody else, right, that defeats the purpose of being magnificent or blacknificent in yourself. We should not have any form of fear of expressing ourselves 100%, as long as it is done with full integrity, right? And the commitment to live your best life as well. So I say thank you to our guest, right? And thank you to Sister Sandra for inviting said guest. And we look forward to future guests and future participants in the questions and answers and everything else. I don't know what it is with this microphone that I'm using, but I'm using it and it's sounding very good in the studio. But obviously, when it comes out the other side, it sounds a little bit more weaker. I don't know why, but all the levels are running hard and everything else. But you know, I saw life go. Yeah, I saw life go. So my sister, let the sun burn your hard, yeah. Let the sun burn your hard until next time we meet. Yeah, right. Drink some coconut water for me now.
I will do. I'll eat some breadfruit because we've had a lot of rain
Yeah.
and the breadfruit is full in, and I had my first breadfruit earlier on Tuesday, and it was delicious.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I know you already. Child. Let me play some music here. I'll get rid of you. Take care now.
How sweet it is to be loved by you. How sweet it is to be loved by you. I needed the shelter of someone's arms, and there you were. There you